Hey, this is a quick tutorial on Audacity, which is the program I recommend if you're going to make one of the SOCUG radio podcasts and contribute and share new music and old music that you've been listening to. I apologize for using a digital camera, but it was the quickest and easiest way for me to do this. So here's the program. There's basically your main features. That should be pretty familiar to you. And then here's your selection tool, and then here's your time shift tool. Those are your two most important ones. And then there's also the effect, and really probably the effect you'll be using would be the fade in and fade out, and I'll show you an example of that. So what I usually do is I want to make a playlist of all the songs, and here's kind of what I have on for the first SOCUG. So if you'll take a look at the playlist, if you click off of it, if you look on foobar, it'll say 7 items, 27 minutes. So, if you figure I talk for 3 minutes, that'll roughly be a half-hour show, and that was kind of what I was shooting for. So we have those. If you're disorganized like me, it's going to be hard to find all of those, so you can easily do the right-click, open containing folder, and there's the song Conversation 16. Go ahead and drag and drop. This will take probably most files that you'll have, like FLAC, MP3, and OGG Vorbis, probably AAC, and maybe Windows Media Audio. But if you know how to use foobar, you can convert those to WAV, and that's not a problem anyway. So here we go. Here's the song. So I want to introduce the song, and then I'll have an exit as well. So what you can do is you can click record. And then once I hit record, as you can see, there it's recording my voice, but it's also playing along with what I'm recording. And so this is a feature for, if you're doing multi-track recording, as far as, if you're the dude that wants to play a guitar and then sing later, or play two parts of a guitar at the same time. You can do it with this program. I think there's a lot more to it than that as far as syncing it. But for our purposes, so every time you hit record, it's going to make a new one of these tracks. And then I showed you this time shift button. So if that's my recording for my intro, I can actually move this over. And as you see, I'll play it back, and it'll start with my voice, and then the song will start playing in.
As you can see, there it's recording my voice, but it's also playing along with what I'm recording,
and that was actually a bad example because the microphone caught what was being played before. But I can show you an outro as well as another example. So if you want to switch back over to the selection tool, you can kind of select a little spot right there and hit effect, and then go to fade in. So if you want to do a fade in, if you look, it's kind of like now it's curved and it'll actually fade in. So I'll go ahead and delete that. If you want to record and you don't want to get organized just yet, what I've been doing is just hitting the mute on this. It'll gray it out. Then you can record without it playing. So I'm going to hit that and say, here is the intro. This is the national. The song's called Conversation 16. And I hit stop. And actually, since it started there, it looks like it's pretty much in line. But again, if you wanted to go up here, you can move this around. So we'll move it there, and then this is what you'll get.
Here is the intro. This is the national. The song's called Conversation 16.
And alright, so that was a bad example because I forgot to unmute. So we'll do it one more time.
Here is the intro. This is the national. The song's called Conversation 16.
And you can do that, you've probably all heard on professional radio, that's how they do it. So basically that's the same thing, and every time you hit record you're going to get a new track, so you can go ahead and mute all these, and then hit record, hit a new track. This is, that was the national, this is the outro, blah blah blah. Hit stop, make sure you're on your time shift, and then you just drag that out to, and actually you can even drag it onto that same track if you don't want to get too cluttered and you just want to have one voice track. Drag it out there and then put it where it is, and then ultimately when you're done you can unmute it and test all these out. So that's pretty much all you're going to need to do. Again, you can do a fade out. There's a lot of other effects. The other one you might be interested in is amplify, as far as changing the volume of songs if one's too loud. Sometimes that happens. That's a pretty crappy way of doing it, but that's probably the easiest for everybody. There's actually, they use compression and different things like that, and I don't fully understand it, so I'm not going to try to explain it here. So when we're done, we'll go to File, Export, and I've already actually made this video a couple of times because, yeah, I keep screwing it up, so. Here, I've already done this. You can make a SOCUG MP3 under options. We're going to pick an average bit rate of 160. Now, standard streaming radio would be a constant of 128. So average will push this up a little bit on quality, and 160 should be even better. We could probably even go further. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but for now, we'll stick with the standards, and I think 160 sounds fine. As long as it's not something you're going to keep. The other important thing is make sure it defaults to stereo, make sure it's joint stereo. In lame, this is much better quality. The stereo option is kind of left over from old MP3 encoders that had issues with that and would actually make worse quality files with joint stereo. But joint stereo, what that means is if the same sound's coming out of both speakers, it only records it once instead of twice. Lame's very good at that, and you won't notice the difference other than your quality will be better. So hit OK, save, and then yeah, if you're in that you want to replace that. Here's your tagging information. You can tag it whatever you want. You can tag the artist as SOCUG or your name or whoever it is. Track title, we should probably keep it as the episode, and probably the date in there, but other than that, you kind of really do what you want. Obviously, you want to clear out whatever was thrown in there from the first file we drug in. Then you want to hit OK, your tracks will be mixed down, OK, and then this will be done. Now the first time you might get an error, you will get an error that it doesn't have lame, so I'm going to have a link, and basically what I found on the web was this is Audacity's website, and they give you some crap about having to go here and install a special lame, even if you already have it for foobar or whatever, and I'll put this up on the site as a direct link, but you can grab it from here as well. Just click that and install it, and then it works fine. And so that's it. You let it encode, and then you're ready to go. And we'll work out a way on the site as far as getting the file to me. So enjoy.